PAC stands for Parent Advisory Council. So thank you so much for coming out. The first thing we're going to do is just kind of go around the room, and if you could just introduce yourself and say if you're a teacher, what grade you teach, if you're a parent, what grade your student's in, and the name of your student, so we can just see. Ms. Feldern is going to be taking this tonight. We hope to post this on the website, so for anybody who is unable to make it, they can always go on there and view then the information that they missed. You just want to go ahead and get started. Just introduce who you are and who your student is, what grade. Mr. Davis, you're at your grade. Great, thank you. Welcome. Your turn.
My turn. I'm Jen Delgorn. I'm a first grade teacher this year. Work primarily with the special ed students.
Carla Probst, I teach third grade.
I'm Rebecca Lejeune. I teach second grade.
Diana Kelly, I'm a parent of a kindergartner. Finn Kelly, Miss Me's class.
I'm Janice Wilson, I teach first grade.
Jessie Alms, I teach fourth grade.
My son is studying in third grade. His name is Anirudh. Hi, I'm Anisha. My son is Arman. He is in Miss Hamilton's class in third grade.
I'm Roy Nasibi. My daughter is in 5th grade.
Adrian, my son's name is Isaiah Adegakin, he's in 3rd grade.
Wesley Underwood, my son's name is Waylon Underwood, he's in 4th grade.
My name is Mahi, the father of Mala. She is in the kindergarten. And this is my wife, Arma.
And this is Manan.
No, she's not in the school yet.
Come on and take a seat.
Mary Fury, I teach kindergarten, and we have a son in third grade here.
My name is David Pierre. I'm Mary's husband.
Patricia Chavez, my daughter's in second grade.
Great. Well, take a seat, sign in, get some handouts. First thing, I mean, this committee is very open. We're here to get a lot of parent input. It's a little different than PTA. PTA more handles fundraisers, different events at the school. This is more to get your input on things you'd like to see happening, to talk about different procedures, talk about the curriculum. Sometimes we'll offer trainings, how to help your children at home. Certainly we're open to ideas and suggestions. It's really to get parental input. And I'm going to go over, there was a lot of forms that went home that speaks to what is the PAC, the Parent Advisory Council, what's the purpose and what does it serve. So I'm going to kind of go over some of the forms that went home, just in case you had any questions about them. Just a couple updates. Right now enrollment's at about 515 students. There is a handout that gives just events coming up for September and October, like next week. Very important, we have the open houses, and K2 is on Tuesday night, and 3-5 is on Thursday night. And we actually have the actual time. So if you have a kindergarten student, on Tuesday night that will be from 6 to 6:30. And then if you have a first grade student, that will be from 6:30 to 7. And then 7 o'clock will be second grade from 7 to 7:30. So that way if you have multiple students, you're able to make each of those presentations in the different classrooms. And then on Thursday night, we'll start with third grade. We'll start at 6 o'clock. 6:30 will be fourth grade, and then 7 o'clock will be fifth grade. So, and that information will be going out again in flyers and stuff, but this just kind of gives you an overview of upcoming events. PTA is having a yard sale on September 20th, on Saturday from 8 to 1. If you're interested in having a table or anything, you can let Jen Delgor know tonight, and she can get you the information as far as getting a spot. If not, we'd love for you to come out. There's going to be a lot of fun activities for your students, and all of the money or proceeds will go to the PTA to support the efforts here for the students at Gallaher. So I'm not going to go through all those, but there's a number of different events for September and October that you can mark your calendars. Going over the school forms, a number of different forms came home. These two are parent compacts, and basically it's showing a commitment from the parent, the teacher, and the student, what we're going to do, kind of what we expect, how the parents can support us, and then what we expect of the student. And we ask you to sign off and return it. And it is in Spanish for those families who need that on the back of that form. This is just confirming that you got the student manual, that you're going to send your child to school regularly and on time, and if you're absent within 5 days, you'll send in a note so we're able to document that. So these are just really commitments, kind of forming a partnership so we can better serve your children. This is information about PAC, what purpose it is, what it is. The district has a parent advisory council as well, and they gave the upcoming meetings that you could attend those and find out how the district supports parent advisory council, and then down to the school level. So every school is required to have a parent advisory council and to get input from our parents. So, you know, we're kind of working together for what's best for our students. This form went home and it just kind of explained all schools in the Christina School District are Title I, and we're financially supported by federal money, how the schools are selected, how the funds are used, and how you can help. So just some general information about that. One of the things that is new here at Gallaher, we think it's great, every student, no matter what, is eligible for free breakfast and lunch. And maybe you've seen that on the news. There's a lot of schools part of that program. There's no form to fill out. Everyone qualifies. So if your child wants breakfast, they can go in. They're entitled to several different choices for breakfast and then several different choices for lunch. If you decide you want to pack a lunch, that's also fine. We do send home monthly calendars telling you what's for breakfast and lunch, so you can decide whether or not if it's something your child would like to eat or you want to pack a lunch. In addition to that, we also provide the student every day with a healthy snack. It's a fresh fruit or vegetable, and that is outside the lunch period. So if you have a late lunch, you're having it in the morning. If you have an early lunch, you're having it later in the day. So that is new this year at Gallaher. This was just a letter that was sent home regarding the credentialing here at Gallaher. That's public information. All teachers here are highly qualified. If they were not, we would have to inform you who they are and why they're not highly qualified. You can also go on the Department of Education website for any teacher and type in their last name if you'd like to see what are their certificates in, what are they credentialed in. And that's for administrators as well. So that's all public information and is available to parents. So that letter went home explaining that information, how to go on, or if you want additional information regarding that. This Brown form went home, and it was both in English and Spanish, is again, do you know your rights, things schools and districts must do. So outlining that information as far as information we need to provide parents. And certainly if you have any questions about any of these things, certainly, you know, if you don't want to ask in a big form, you can certainly stay after and I'll be happy to answer that. We also sent home our parent involvement policy, which just kind of outlines the expectations for Gallaher, the different events we'll have throughout the year for parental involvement and for your student involvement, and then just working as a partnership. So that also went home, a copy to every family. So these are all things required. There's information, you know, that we absolutely is public information and that you should know as a parent having a student here at Gallaher. So certainly, on top of all these forms, all of these other forms went home. So certainly that's a lot and overwhelming the first week of school to fill out all those forms. So certainly if you have any question about any of the things you filled out or want additional information, I'll be happy to answer those questions individually this evening or at a different time, whatever's convenient for you. Any questions at this time? Anything?
Okay,
Mrs.
super.
Castle?
I didn't get to introduce myself earlier. I'm Miss Castle. I'm the assistant principal at the school Gallaher. I just wanted to take a few minutes and walk everyone through what we call our school success plan, which is sort of the document that sort of guides us through the whole year for what, you know, professional developments we're going to offer, how we are going to look to improve our students and the overall experience here at Gallaher, whether it's, you know, for reading, for math, disciplinary practices, including increasing parent participation in these practices as well. So there are many copies of our success plan, like floating around. I know there's several at different tables, so if there's not one for each member, maybe you would mind sharing with somebody at your table. This is a living document, which means basically that we are updating it regularly. So with input from parents, with input from our teachers, it's a document that is regularly being updated. We're always looking to make sure that we are the goals that we've set out for ourselves, that we are meeting those goals or surpassing them. Some really great news. Last year, the school success plan goals that we outlined, which included reading achievement, math achievement, a decrease in disciplinary, poor discipline. All of this was, we made every single goal. Not only did we meet the goals, we far exceeded them. So Gallaher had a superior year last year. And that is certainly, due to the dedication of our families, due to the superior dedication of our teachers, and just really the wonderful students that we serve every day. So of course we're aiming again to totally surpass our goals for this year as well. Let me just give a quick explanation on how the school success plan is created. First, we begin with, over the summer, we'll gather all the data and reports that are generated from our school. So those include several reports. That's, what was used to be our D-test data. Now this year we'll be headed to a new assessment, which we started talking about a little bit at the in the middle of our parental meetings last year, which will be called Smarter Balanced, a new assessment that's based very much on Common Core standards. So we'll take those kinds of assessments, reading, math, disciplinary data, different parental surveys. You fill out the My Prospective Parent Survey every spring, and that information is also included. We have several reports that we take into consideration when we're developing these goals. So based on the goals and what appears to be needs, we start to develop the plan. And in order to make sure that we're achieving and maintaining strong growth, we take all of the needs and break them down into 4 goals. And the 4 major goals, one of the goals is reading achievement, to increase reading achievement for all students, particularly subgroups of students that have experienced difficulty in the past. So one of the goals this year is for us to not only achieve the reading, increase the reading achievement for all students, but to especially increase it for our special education subgroup of students who have typically struggled in the past. So that's one of our goals. Then we have the same goal for math. So increasing our achievement for all students, and then also increasing it for our special ed students. To decrease, another goal is to decrease our different disciplinary referrals. So the number of disciplinary referrals that we have experienced, and then also to increase, our 4th goal is to increase the parental involvement at our different parental activities. So as you kind of thumb through, if you just want to, I'm not going to walk you through every single piece of this, but I'd love for you to just take a couple of minutes and kind of look through it. You can see the different strategies that Gallaher is undertaking and that we are monitoring regularly to ensure that these goals are being met. Regarding reading achievement, some of the things that we're doing, we're increasing professional development for our teachers. We are looking to increase the implementation of our RTI model. That's response to intervention, and that's, again, in both reading and math, where we have a 30-minute, your students will talk about a 30-minute intervention block. Your student may or may not see an interventionist. It depends on just their general level of achievement. If they are meeting all of their benchmarks, then that half hour will turn into an enrichment hour, like a time where we can meet individual needs of students for both reading and for math. So, like along these lines, providing professional development in reading and math is certainly something that we're looking on. Monitoring different planning practices. Also, we have developed ELA and math councils. So those are councils of teachers, and many of the teachers are actually sitting in this room. The ELA and math councils have one strategic member from every grade level team, and they meet with a coach once a month that delivers high quality professional development, and then those teachers turn that around and share that with their individual grade level teams to ensure that every teacher is getting that same training, and then to ensure that every student in our school can receive that high quality training. And that is embedded every single month. We have one reading or one ELA and one math council meeting. So it's ongoing embedded professional development for our teachers. So those are some of the strategies that we've outlined for to increase reading and math use. And as you continue to thumb through, kind of halfway through, you will get to our 3rd goal, which is decreasing disciplinary incidents school-wide. Mrs. Lee and I just concluded we called our road show. We went around to every single classroom and we spoke to every single student. I know I've seen some of the students in here. I saw you today. where Lee and I go around and we just give kind of the highlights of the student manual, some of the things that students should expect of themselves, as well as of our staff. You know, what is the expectation at Gallaher for everyone? So that is one of our goals in there, the strategies, to make sure that those are in place. Meetings with counselors. We have a positive action program here, which we have had for many years, but we've just recently increased the implementation of and strengthened the implementation of. That is like a character ed program, so ensuring that all students have access to high quality character development. So that happens every day in every single classroom. Also, one of our major focuses this year was increasing our strategic supports of students who are struggling with their behavior. So we really firmly believe in intervention at Gallaher, and that's both reading and math, as I've talked about, but it's also behavioral. And we have really worked hard this year to develop a system that if a student is struggling with their behavior, that we don't first seek to punish the child, that it's not punitive immediately, that there are strong supports that are put in place by the child to ensure that they're actually being taught. You know, the root of the word discipline is really disciple, which means to teach. So we are looking to teach them through some of their struggles, so that it's not, you know, we really believe that students have the opportunity, and those discipline opportunities, those are really opportunities for them to learn, those discipline incidents, instead of just like penalizing the students for ongoing behavior that is negative. We have taken that on ourselves, and that we've trained our staff, and we are fully implementing that. Teachers, is there anything that you wanted to comment on how that's going, how positive action may be going in your classroom? Any comments on that implementation?
More first grade seats. Right, Judy? Right, Judy? So we talk about positive actions, positive thoughts. They're doing great.
Okay, awesome. Super. Our last goal, and I'm so thankful that you're all here tonight. I mean, this just really speaks to your dedication. Thank you so much for being here. But our last goal, right on here, is to increase partnerships between home and school. So we firmly believe that the strong communication and strong partnerships between home and school is what supports our children the most. I mean, having those things it's so valuable for us. So we just wanted to increase the opportunities for our staff and for our families to communicate. So some of the things that we're seeking to do, you actually are seeing tonight. We know that it's really hard to come out to meetings like this. We understand that. We all have our own kids, and we definitely have that struggle as well. And we appreciate you being here so much. For folks that were not able to be here, we're videotaping that. We're hoping to put it on the website so that if people are unable to be here, that they'll be able to see it and comment on some of the things that we're talking about as well. Parent links, you may have gotten a parent link about the meeting tonight, so that was that phone call. Certainly those things we're looking to continue to increase. Both Ms. Delgarn and Ms. Alms here are our parent link coordinators. They're on top of making sure that parents are communicated with. One of the things we want to seek to do this year is to increase our dissemination of Common Core information, not only what it is, what you can expect, but how we're tackling that challenge at our school. It is our goal to be the best at everything. Our teachers can tell you, we say that a lot. We are always seeking to be right out in front, and that is, right now that front is Common Core, and we want to be out in the front delivering the best instruction with the best PDs, and very much seek to be the best in that way. So one of the things we want to do is to have links that are available to you on our website for how you can help your child at home and what you could be expecting to see. So those are things that are forthcoming for sure, so please look for those in the future. Certainly, I'm not sure if you're aware, we have a parental resource center. It's right in the front. Miss Laura's father actually made us a wonderful piece of furniture that is just, it's wonderful now. We're very excited about it. And there's lots of great resources there for you. So as you come into school, we're certainly hoping to increase the number of parents who are able to use that. So as you come in, there's books that are there for free, different pamphlets, resources that you're able to have. And I believe that really kind of seals off what we're seeking to do. I mean, those are our 4 major areas of focus: reading, math, decreasing disciplinary referrals, and then increasing parental involvement. this process, I just wanted to share too how the process goes. Once we sort of look through our needs assessment and develop our plan, we have a very comprehensive team of teachers that we vet this through. So we sat around actually on Friday at one of our meetings early in the morning with a comprehensive set of teachers and looked through this and looked to see if there's anything that we were doing that we didn't include or things that we felt should be taken off the plan based on what we know is best at Gallaher. And then this is the second step, bringing this to you. So ensuring that you don't have anything else that you would like to add or see changed. And certainly if you did, you could share it now, or if you didn't feel like this is the right venue, you could always call Ms. Lee or myself, or send a note for your teacher of things you like to be added to that. So, any questions about the student success plan at all? I know that was a lot and I talked fast, so. Okay, thank you very much.
And certainly any topics, and feel free to raise your hand if we can put down for forthcoming meetings, if there's any topics you'd like to see discussed or workshops. I know last year we offered a workshop on how to help your child with fluency, how to read more fluent. Ms. Castle ran that workshop. Certainly we can do it again if people are interested. I know that was probably one of our biggest turnouts, and a lot of parents went home and tried those strategies, and actually it really helped their student become more fluent readers. So certainly that's a workshop we could offer. If there's a topic or some information you would like to see us cover, if there isn't someone here at the school that could give that workshop, we could certainly seek out other professionals to come out and present that topic to you. I mean, feedback on any concerns, questions? Yes.
With parents, old school, with the old school parents, like grandparents, do you have a workshop where we could help our kids, with math?
And that's not something that we've done yet. That's an excellent request, and that would definitely be something that we would certainly look into. We'll get on the calendar. Yeah, about how the strategies from when you were young and when you were going through school and how different they are today. Absolutely, yeah, that would be a great thing.
Common Core.
I agree. It's a great title.
And the expectation has changed. Like for kindergarten, it used to be them knowing their numbers up to 20, and now with Common Core, it's like counting to 100 and things like that. So, I mean, it really has changed. So we can certainly, I put that down, that could be one of our topics. Anything else? Questions? Could be about curriculum, procedures. We will be sending home a letter, it'll probably go out next week, for the different committees that we have in the school. If you as a parent would like to serve on the different committees that we have bullying committee, we have PBS, which is the positive behavior support committee. We have all different kind of committees that we ask parents if they'd like to come and represent and give some parent input. We would love it. So we'll be sending out a letter. Volunteering in the classroom is another option on there. Sometimes people like to do things from home, like ask teachers if they want to send stuff home, and they can work on things at home and then send it back because they can't physically come in. It's also another option. Of course, there's always the old chaperoning, field trips, those kinds of things that are always available to parents.
I had a question actually.
Sure.
Except reading and math, you are having some other subjects also, right? Like science and social studies and all. But we don't know at all at home what it is going in those subjects, and they even have the exams in that, right? So
yes, and it's really, I'm glad you brought that up. Our next generation of science standards are rolling out this year, and our teachers are actually upcoming, going to be getting training on that.
Yeah.
So that's a great point. I think as our staff becomes more familiar with that, that would definitely be something that we need to roll out to parents and
at
let
least
them.
we know that what is going, so we can help them just to recite something or whatever it may help them to improve in their exams. Sometimes my son is telling Mom, I forgot in exam, but I didn't know what was that, so I can't help him.
And this is information we give to the teachers because next week will be open houses, so certainly they can include in their presentation to parents about the science and social studies, like what's happening in their classroom, or if they can send home, this is the unit we're doing in science, or this is the unit, just, it's information, so you kind of know what they're studying about for that particular time. So I will definitely give that information back to the teachers, so next week during the open houses, that they could touch on them in their PowerPoints. Each grade level will have a PowerPoint that they'll present, and then for parents who aren't able to come, we're able to send home a copy of the PowerPoint. The PowerPoints will also be posted on the website as well.
Okay. And I had one more question.
Sure.
Star reading assessment, like I read just now, right? So it's for the kids, like every kid will have to go through that assessment?
Yes, that's a great question. The STAR reading assessment is, we have just actually contracted, the district has contracted with Renaissance Learning, which will help us to roll out an assessment in both reading and math, so STAR reading and STAR math, and that's for grades 3, 4, and 5 at this school. K1 and 2 do have reading and math assessments. They are just alternate assessments. They're different. This is a new assessment for us, and it's actually taking the place of DCAS. As I was just saying, our DCAS assessment was given 3 times a year so we can kind of gauge progress across time. Now we'll be transitioning to a smarter balance assessment this year, which will only be given in the spring. So it will be harder for us to gauge growth across the year and to ensure, like we were saying here, that we're really staying on track. So the STAR assessment, like I said, was contracted through the district, and that is going to help all of our teachers and our students really to determine, like, are we staying on track and are we meeting those benchmark goals for reading and for math in grades 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, that's a great question.
Great, yeah, great questions.
How soon are we going to be told our children that it's time off for the subject?
Another great question.
Are we going to know? Because sometimes it's too late or it's too advanced, and then you have to work more at it if
Right.
they first tell us.
If they're
that.
struggling, right.
Yeah.
And the answer to that question, I'm not sure if everyone heard it, is like, at what point would you be alerted that your child is struggling? And it's really upon the first inclination that the teacher gets. So we have a very comprehensive process here at Gallaher, which really strategically looks at students, and we use multiple pieces of data. So for reading, for example, we use multiple tests. We'll start with that STAR reading assessment, then we'll go into their DIBELS. We'll look at multiple pieces of their DIBELS. We'll look at another specific test where we are, I would venture to say, and I almost say it on camera is a little bit like, but I would venture to say that we actually have one of the strongest intervention programs in the district. I would stand behind that. And that's because we look at multiple sources of data and we really try to diagnose what we think is the student's specific area of need. The teachers can certainly speak to this, but and they're all shaking their heads like, yeah, they make us do that. So yeah, we're looking specifically at the child's area of need and then intervening right at that area of need. And the same thing for math. We're in the process right now. We're at the process of giving multiple diagnostic tests in math. We're really always trying to whittle down like what the specific area of need is so that we can intervene at that point. In some cases, a student may not start struggling until the middle of the year or even close to the end of the year. But really, our teachers are phenomenal about it too. They are always in contact with our families, and so at the first notice of some kind of problem or some kind of thing that doesn't seem right, we will be able to contact you. And you can rest assured that we are really, we as a huge team effort. We all sit together. The interventionists and I look at some data, the teachers look at some data, we bring all of that data together to the table and make those decisions accordingly. So you can really be, I think when a teacher or a parent has their child at Gallaher, they can have the best assurance that we are looking strategically at each student and where they're struggling to get down to how we can best help them.
And actually, it's too soon for academic data because we're in the process of doing all those tests. But kids just even coming to school and adjustment, we've met with several parents already. If we see someone who maybe didn't go to preschool, maybe was home, but we notice they're not adjusting these first couple weeks, we'll call the parent in because there might be information the parent can share with us. We want to share, a safety concern or something like that. So we've already met with several parents, not really about academics, but just about adjustments in general, meaning if they're new to the school or kindergarten. And certainly understandable, if your student has never been in school before, hasn't attended a preschool, that's going to be very different than a child who's been in preschool for several years and then coming in. But just kind of working with the parent and getting feedback, because any information you have may be helpful for us to better support the student. But yeah, we're in touch pretty much all along. I would say February, and we do it early. February is the second conferences we have in November, and then we have in February. And we actually send letters home at that point, alerting people if there's could be an attendance, because 18 days or more unexcused, your child by law can't be promoted to the next grade. They could be assigned, but we want to let parents know, like, if they're going in that direction, that that could become an issue as the school, it's February and we have till May. We alert for academics because especially sometimes if, like you're saying, it's too late. In February is still a lot of time to work with your child and change that course of action. So, you know, it seems like, oh, you're letting me in February, there might be a concern that my child's not on track, but it's really an opportunity because there's still a lot more of the school year to make adjustments. But if we wait until May, and you know, that's way too late. So we send the letters in February, and the list is rather long, and the list gets really smaller by the time May comes. But we'd rather let the parent know and work together so we're ready for the next year. Other questions? These are great questions. Teachers, anything that we may have forgotten to mention, something, this is your 5 minutes of anything you'd like to share with families? Not to put you on the spot.
I think all the feedback has been really welcome and nice to hear. But, you know, just different ideas of what parents would like to see in the workshops, and so.
Right, and we hope to continue to increase this number of people in the room. This is fantastic. Next week, we're hoping for a big turnout with open house as well. Well, at this point, we'll be around. The teachers will hang back a little if you'd like to talk to anyone specifically with a specific question. Make sure, please sign in that you were here this evening. Here's your student.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Your child, we love to encourage parental attendance. So just by your attendance tonight, your child will earn $25 Panther dollars toward our PBS celebration. But we just need to make sure that we have your information there, and if you have more than one student, they each get that reward. So we're thankful for your attendance. Please make sure you sign in so we have that record, and that we'll be able to make sure that they get their Panther dollars. Okay, thank you so much for coming, and please see us with questions, concerns, comments, anything.
Just let me mention that we are an open door policy,
Yes.
so certainly you don't need to schedule appointments. Someone's always available. If you come to the school, you can sign in. You can sit in your child's classroom. We just ask that you don't disrupt the teacher or talk to other people's students, but you're always welcome. You're welcome to come have lunch, breakfast. We're just
It's
open doors.
Yep.
So thank you again.
Thank you.